The picturesque town of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin is the backdrop for one of the biggest motorsports events in the world. For the 4th year, the Sports Car Club of America National Championship Runoffs returns to Road America. Beautiful, fast, and treacherous, this track puts a premium on horsepower, aerodynamics, and bravery. A single mistake can end in disaster, but a single moment of inspiration can turn a contender into a champion. The 49th annual SCCA Runoffs is next on Speedcast TV.
We are ready to go racing in H production. Oh, he turned him. Working the inside is Lee Neffenegger.
He halved the difference. Oh, Spicer trying to hold position.
But he's too much speed. He's wide. Guerrerian trying to do it around the outside.
Now one more for the guys up in the booth.
And welcome to coverage of the SpeedcastTV.com coverage of the 49th annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented in HD by Volkswagen. I'm Jim Trado, along with Dorsey Schrader, and when we say Volkswagen, this is one of the stalwart classes, Dorsey, of the entire SCCA platform. Formula V, cars are on grid. We're going to have an awesome race with 36 race cars on the racetrack.
You can build your own bodywork, and to some degree the chassis are all the same in that they have to use the front axle out of an old Volkswagen Bug, Beetle if you will, 1200cc flat 4-cylinder engine out of the same car. So with that, it's a regulated class, very, very competitive, and drafting is huge.
When it comes to drafting, there's guys that get it, and there's Michael Verisons. Verisons is on the pole, but he won going away in this class just a couple of years ago, and it's amazing to see. As much as drafting plays a key part in this, the cars don't seem to be that aerodynamic, but as you're saying, the drafting is so important, and they're going to go 4, 5, 6 deep in the drafting, and I know we've had some of the closest finishes in SCCA history in this class.
Yeah, no doubt about it, for sure. You look at the different types of bodywork, some of them have the wider front end, and the real narrow, darty slipstream front end is what has been more popular of late.
With our 9 division champions, including co-champions in the Southeast Division, 5 gold medalists in this class on grid. With them down there is John Bizignano, the 3rd member of our team. Biz, this is going to be something to watch.
Boy, that's for sure. Mark Varson is on pole position in this beautiful number 65 red car. Now, Formula V, Formula Volkswagen, my gosh, it's about as standard in stock in many ways as you can get, even the upright and so forth. But Mike has taken every little effort to make this car as fast as possible. There's a little aerodynamic effect here on the edge of the car. This sort of smooth things off of the air falling off of his what could be a front wing, you might call that. But also look what he's done just for this particular race. These are carbon fiber, very light, inside of the wheel plates that also is trying to just cut down on the disturbance coming off the inside of this wheel, smooth out the air through this particular part of the car, which is actually, it looks very smooth and somewhat aerodynamic, but everything you see hanging out here can cost a 1/10 of a second, and that's very important in Formula V. Dorsey, can you, here he's left a little space in here for the cooling of the front brakes in the back. This space is completely blocked off. Dorsey, can you imagine developing carbon fiber inner plates like that just for here, for the national championships at Elkhart Lake?
Many years ago, carbon fiber wasn't even invented yet, much less they would know how to use it like that. But you know, you can keep developing. This is an old class, but it's a very popular class in SCCA.
And Michael Verison's on the pole, very fast car. Again, these cars really, since 1964, have remained somewhat unchanged, with that bodywork being the only factor that can modify over time. You mentioned the rear suspension, the motors themselves, the front wishbone, and the thing about these cars, they are fast, but they're awfully able. And the cars that are starting on the front of the grid have been fast in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. And that, again, is Roger Siebenaller, the number 72, Dorsey, and he's going to be really fast today.
You take a look at the wheels here. Those are standard-sized wheels, little bitty skinny tires off Volkswagen, once again. You know, so they don't offer you a lot of grip. You'll see these guys sliding around. They'll do their very best not to slide as it scrubs speed, and these guys are momentum-type cars again.
Exposed suspensions here, trying to get enveloped as close as they can. That's the number 48 car. That's a multicolored car of Chris Jennerjohn. These are the guys at the head of the grid, but again, we mentioned 36 cars in the field, and there's a lot of studs. Jeff Loghagen among them. They're right there in the number 8 car. He'll be one to watch as a former gold medalist in this race. Now, because there's 36 cars, What we'll do now, Doris, I think we'll just start going through the grid to give these guys a bit of time to shine. The entire lineup will go across the screen on our SpeedcastTV.com scoring feed. But we do want to tell you that Michael Verisons is on the pole for the 5th time, 4th time in the last 5 years. The Central Division champion drives the number 65. Speed Sport VTEC Hoosier shod, Speed Sport AM5 chassis. He'll be on pole alongside last year's race winner, the number 72 of Roger Siebenhaler of North Hero, Vermont, in the AutoWorks Hoosier Mysterium. Starting in row number 2, the number 77, Rick Shields on the inside from Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. The 2010 gold medalist in the ARS Incorporated V-Sport Racing AutoWorks Volkswagen VDF. Starting 4th, the number 3, Gary Blenarek of Baden, Pennsylvania, in the Sewickley Car Store. Silver Bullet chassis. He finished 8th here last year, and he finished this year 2nd in the Great Lakes Division. Starting row number 3 on the inside is that number 48 of Chris Jennerjohn of Hartford City, Indiana. The Jennerjohn machine, Vortec machine. He finished 4th here in 2010. His fastest lap last night came in the very last qualifying session, so he indeed gaining speed throughout the week here at Road America. Starting 6th, the number 8 of Jeff Loghead. We just caught a glimpse of that red car with the yellow numerals out of Darien, Illinois. The Hoosier Tire LL Loghead DDS Vortec CR4. 2004 gold medalist at Mid-Ohio. Starting in row number 4, starting 7th, the number 75, Andy Pastor of Watertown, Massachusetts, the V-Sport Racing AP Electrics Citation. 4 top 5s in 6 races in the Northeast Division this year. Starting 8th, the number 61, Jonathan Weisheit. Keep an eye on Jonathan, Baltimore, Maryland driver. Had on his protoform chassis last year. He has 1 silver, 1 bronze. He qualified 6th here last year, was running up front until he had an issue. So unfortunately he has something redemption on the mind here a year later from the Runoffs run of 2011. Starting in row number 5, starting 9th, the number 69 of Charles McCormick of Clarkston, Michigan. The RSE Incorporated Vortec CM1 chassis, looking for his first top 10 finish in 5 runoff tries. Starting 10th, the number 87, Dennis Andrade of Brush Prairie, Washington. D&D Racing, Vortec. He finished 5th here a year ago. He'll start 10th here today. Row number 6 on the inside, the number 37 of Charles Hearn. Orion Filtration. Noble Racing, Goody Vortec Formula V. He is a Super Sweep eligible driver, the Southwest Series champion, and he again going for the Super Sweep. We'll tell you more about that as this race unfolds. And starting 12th, the number 7 of Lisa Noble in her 20th Runoffs, best finished 7th at Heartland Park, Topeka in 2007. Lisa Noble, her husband Bill Noble, long time the master of this class. Certainly Lisa continues on that tradition. The LittleFeet.net Hoosier Tire Vortec chassis. And let's check in one more time with Biz before we turn him loose. Biz?
Well, someone knows his way around here very well. Roger Solveniner, he got here only under the 3-minute sign, number 72 in 2nd place. We don't know what exactly the problem was, but that's very, very late for Roger to show up. He usually likes to be right on top of things, and his crew looked a little bit worried as he came to the grid.
Wow, Roger Siebenhaler, the guy who's won here before, national champion, and he now gets to the grid, but just in the nick.
And Siebenhaler will start in the 2nd position. That row on the closest to the grass will be the cars leading out, and then the others will form behind them. Speaking of forming up, we're going to go through row 7 through the remainder of the starting lineup now. Starting 13th, the number 9 of David Scaler of Flemington, New Jersey, the ChassisTools.com AutoWorks Vortec. He finished 18th here last year, will start 13th today. Starting 14th, the number 80 of Stephen Davis, 2-time gold medal winner in his Racer's Wedge, that dark green number 80, ever present in V. He'll start 14th here today, sponsored by Hoosier, Butler Engines, and Valvoline. Starting 8th row on the inside, the number 5 of Ron Whitson of Neenah, Wisconsin, the Subway Hoosier Protoform P2. He's a Central Division runner-up this year with 1 win and 4 top 5s out of the Milwaukee region. And starting 16th, the number 25 of Andrew Abbott, Livonia, Michigan, Hoosier AutoWorks Vector Race Cars, Vector AM1, 7th in the Great Lakes Division this year, 3 top 5s and 6 races in 2012.
Donnie Isley comes in here from Fletcher, North Carolina with his Agitator by Brookshire, Agitator 016A. Gavin Sweeney from San Francisco Longtow there. He's 2nd runner-up in Northern Pacific, Sweeney Racing Crusader Formula V. Brandon Abbott from Livonia, Michigan, where I used to be up there with Jack Roush, Great Lakes Region 9th place finisher. Hoosier AutoWorks Vectors Race Car, Vector AM1. Ron Wake from Lafayette, California, another Longtow, is the Southern Pacific champion in a Ron Chuck Engineering Mysterium M4. Robert Neumeister, who's done well here before for Pueblo, Colorado, is a Hoosier Tires Redline Oil Lynx runner-up in 11 last year. So then we got Jim, and this is a tough one for me, it's Javier. That's at least how you told me it was anyway.
Yes, I did.
LaGrange, Illinois, Central Division 3rd place, powder coating specialist, LRE Citation. Stuart Delaney from Plymouth, Michigan is in an LRE Noble Hoosier Adams J. Kerry Kittle, Tully, New York, Northeastern Division runner-up, AutoWorks Hoosier, Caracal D. Guy Bellingham from Bradford, Ontario, Vallis Motorsports, BRD AFB 02, whatever all that means. Anyway, Kyler Hunter from Denver, Colorado. He's Rocky Mountain Region's runner-up. Phones West Digital Systems, Volkswagen Vortec. Taryn Swanson from Petaluma, California. We've got a lot of California guys this year from Toad Hall Enterprises, Shipper Racing. It's an old Caldwell D13. Rick Ruckman from Nettie, West Virginia. Happy Trucking Incorporated, Mysterian. David Satterley from Belleville, Michigan in a DDC Racing Pro Form. Then Russell Hendricks from Northport, New York. North Shore, thehospital.com, Caracal D. Brian Swanson from Petaluma, California. Toad Hall Enterprises, it's a team car, Mysterian M4. Mark Felsen from Denver, Colorado is the Rocky Mountain Region winner, the champion. Phones West Digital Systems, Lynx, Vortec FB. Mike Landon from Zionsville, Indiana. Come here with a Dunlop SL2. Chris Elwell from Moscow, Pennsylvania. Northeastern Division and a Walmer EB3. Hugh Maloney from Freeland, Pennsylvania. His sponsors, Sarah, Kelly, Layla, and Kathy. I think that's probably his family. And another Walmer EB3. Jack Maloney from Potomac, Maryland. His dad is his sponsor. He drives a Laser Mark 2.5. And running up from behind is Bill Johnson, Leawood, Kansas, Kansas City Region, Portable Work Tools Incorporated, and a Vortec 1200. And that gives you 42 cars to start this race.
And some serious studs at the front of this field. Verisons, Siebenoller, row 1. Rick Shields, Gary Blenaric, row 2. Jenner John and Loghead, row 3. Pastor and Jonathan Weisheit. These are the names you hear on occasion. We don't see Steve Oseth in the field. We kind of have a changing in the guard here. Brad Stout, always a front runner here. The last 3 champions are in this race. Siebenoller last year, gold medal in 2010. Rick Shields, gold medal 09. Michael Verison. So we talked about Bill Noble and those strong runs he's had. Scott Rubenzer. Jeff Loghead, the 2004 champs in the field. Brad Stout, there's a changing of the guard here, and at the front of the field we saw last year here, Dorsey, they got away, and it was a bit of a scramble actually, because there was Neumeister, Verisons, and Siebenoller going at it the entire race. They swapped lead back and forth. So you say settle in, get your pace, get your gap. That didn't happen last year.
Now, well, you only have 1,200 cc's of engine behind you here, and with that, not a lot of power. They top out well before the straightaway's over. That's where the drafting comes in. Remember, this racetrack at 4 miles has 3 very long straightaways. I've been saying 4.5 miles, but I took a half mile off after I looked it up.
Yeah, 4.048 miles.
I think if you went around the outside every corner, it'd be 4.5.
And the rain line,
but
yeah.
since most guys don't do that, we're going to call it 4.0.
Hey, we talk about close finishes. So, speaking of time, 0.017 seconds was the margin of victory in 2010 with Rick Shields by about an inch over Roger Siebenoller.
Actually, I got to credit that to Rob Elson, a really good guy who was the tech in Trans Am for this many years and works at Grand Am now, who texted me and says, "You dummy, it's not 4.5 miles." I said, "You haven't driven it the way I have."
The Dorsey Schrader line. Find where all the gravel is and just touch it with the outside tires.
You
and keep
can
going.
make 4.5 miles out of it if you try.
Well, here they are weaving. We mentioned about that narrow patch, that narrow tire, the contact patch ever so slight. And what we'll find is these cars will, again, slipstream and draft. And we saw the very good look with John Bizignano on pit road about Siebenoller's front end and how he's got that kind of encased so you can't really see the visibilities. But you've got other bodyworks that wider. You've got a racer's wedge that Stephen Davis continues to campaign, his own design, some ingenuity, but again, all these parts going back to the old VW Beetle since 1964.
Yeah, well, you see guys trying to do something with their cars, and I like that. You know, they just keep trying to do technology, you know, just try these things and see if you can make it better.
Here we go. Here we go. This is the final few corners. These drivers have been waiting all week, maybe all year, for this opportunity to race at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. This will be the final time on a warm-up lap here up the hill. We're on the fly. The pace car is in at Road America. We're about to give in Formula V. 13 laps, 40 minutes of racing, and it starts now for the Formula V class at Road America.
And all we can hope for is we don't lose timing and scoring on this one.
It's going to be exciting through turn 1, turn 3, and turn 5. I feel we're going to have a few issues going on here. We'll see if they get clean through 1.
Already, and they're already 2 rows deep. It could be 4 wide now, or 5.
Pole sitter is that red car in front, Verisons. The white car with the red tip nose, that's Roger Siebenoller.
Oh, lock up in some contact.
Couple of cars, open wheels, jumping one another there.
Yeah, they're all over the place back in the back. There's 4 cars, 5 cars off. There's 2 more just made contact.
Wow.
Everybody continues. That's unbelievable.
Locking wheels is certainly something to be concerned about.
There's bodywork flying everywhere in the middle of the pack.
trying to make through again. 37 cars started this field. That appears to be something rather creative there.
Yeah, it's the front nose off of one of the cars that was in mid-pack. Those guys got into a scrum, and it just got ugly in the middle there, nowhere to go.
Crazy start mid-pack, as if they're doing bobsled racing down here. Turn 3 to turn 5 is a very long, fast straightaway downhill. It's Vereson's leading Siebenthaler. In third now is the 3 of Gary Blanark, who started in the 4th position.
Those 4 already trying to clean their act up, so they go, oh, we're going to have a spin. Not yet. I spoke too soon. We just had an out-of-control car for a minute. Anyway, here's a spin on the other hand, right under turn 6. And that's a bad place. Look at the right rear suspension damage.
He is not going anywhere, unfortunately, and hopefully at the bottom of 5, the flags are waving. The 77 of Rick Shields started third. He was running 4th at the turn there and got a little hot in the 6, it looks like.
Yeah, one guy got in there, didn't see it in time, locked up his brakes, but that was due to contact, I'm relatively sure. The right rear suspension broken on this car. What a bad place to get stuck.
Rick Shields, a 2010 gold medalist, appears to be done before lap 1 is in the books.
Michael Veresons is checking out. Well, you don't want to see that because that's a fast race car. He put the car on pole, and look, he's outrunning everybody even in the draft.
Vereson's leading Siebenthaler. In third is that number 3 of Gary Blanark. The 4th car in that group was that red 77 of Rick Shields. Now it's a 3-car gap up front.
That's what'll happen. One guy will spin or have a problem, and it'll break the packs apart. And these top 3 guys are really glad to see that. Now they'll run, look at that, look how the draft works.
And it's already started. These guys are figuring out, okay, where is he stronger? Where has he got better bottom end? Where will I be at the finish line?
Well, they've got the perfect scenario right now because it's a 3-car train. 3-car trains are very, very fast. It's a very effective way. If they don't mess with each other, they should be able to run away from that big, huge pack behind them and then just race for the, that's the podium positions right there.
And sitting in 4th, there's a bit of difference between where they are sitting. We'll identify who that is as they cross our scoring stripe here. But those 3 cars now opening up the gap, sitting in 4th by himself, I'm sure will be caught, as you mentioned, this because the draft is so important here.
Yeah, those 3 will be really hard to run down if they keep it clean. Got yellow flag up ahead. You just saw the on the straightaway, they're indicating yellow flag for turn 1. And we know what happened down there.
Double yellow.
Carnage is left.
Double yellow on the podium is yellow all over the race course. Full course.
Coming out, and we know why. There's cars somewhere.
Chris Jennerjohn is that car sitting in 4th. Somewhat of a German flag, red in the front, yellow in the middle, black in the back. Jennerjohn finished 10th here a year ago. He'll sit 4th here under this full course caution.
Miraculously, all the cars in turn 1 kept going. There was about 6 cars, I think, involved in that wreck, 2 of which climbed up and over each other twice. And that was probably one of the rear suspension cars that were up there in 5. One of those 2 cars was probably one of the cars. There's a nose off of a car laying there that needs to be picked up. That probably, again, is off that those 2 that were hooked together up on top of the hill there.
With 36 cars so close, something was bound to happen, and it did on the opening turn here in Formula V in the 49th running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
There goes the car with no nose mid-pack. Doesn't look like it sustained any other damage. This car is a broken right rear suspension.
That's right outside top 6. Rick Shields' car, one of the front runners, started in the top 2 rows.
Glad to see that didn't get ugly up there, because as you approach that turn, you can't see that car spun around right there.
We saw Shields taking his helmet and Hans off to the left of the tow truck there.
Another
out
car
of Bridgeville, Pennsylvania.
Here.
Boy, he had 1 win and 3 top 5s on the season, certainly looking to narrow things down and repeat as a champion here as he did 2 years ago. On pit road, the white 88 of Terrence Swanson, 20 years of age, out of Petaluma, California.
He came a long way to have a short day.
In his very first runoffs.
Yep. Well, that's the deal. You have to run really tight. You have to run in big packs. So when something goes wrong, it's never just a 1-car, or very seldom a 1-car situation.
Gary Blanark, we saw him doing a wide weave there, sitting in 3rd, trying to keep the heat in those narrow Hoosier tires.
Yep, they barely got up to temperature in that one furious little lap right there.
And off 6, we see him pulling onto a pad here. This used to be gravel at the exit of 6.
That was a gravel trap that I've been stuck in before.
I wasn't asking how familiar with it with Dorsey, but I imagine there's a story behind that.
Yeah, I've been in that gravel trap.
Yeah, well, that means you're at it. You're on it.
Yep, I was definitely not going anywhere.
So Shields, one of the contenders, has been removed. His car's been removed from the very top of this hill, right under the word Corvette there, the Corvette Bridge. That's where the car was unfortunately stopped because of the rear suspension damage.
That's why I love this racetrack. It's so well thought out, so well, manicured. In the breaks in the wall, there's always a tuck in the wall where they can get a car. They've got the right equipment for the job at the corners when these wrecks happen, if it needs to be lifted out of the gravel trap or whatever the case might be. They got the stuff there, and they've got the knowledge and the equipment. It doesn't shut the race down for a whole long period of time. Unfortunately, I just did a race in California, and half the race was behind a pace car because it wasn't done in the way that Road America does things.
And speaking of the history of Road America, Cliff Tufte and the guys in 1954 designed this track, which has remained unchanged because they said we can no longer race on the streets of Elkhart Lake. Where can we go with this? And Cliff Tufte saw this big, huge quarry in this landmass that we now call Road America, America's National Park of Speed. They designed the track, and it's remained unchanged since 1955.
Short of doing safety issues, this is the same racetrack I ran on in the 70s, and it's much safer now. And one of the areas right here where you're looking at, this is the carousel corner. That carousel corner before the gravel trap on the outside that you see, there was just a regular single beam guardrail around there, and if there wasn't any runoff. If you spun, it was going to be an ugly crash, and there was a bunch of ugly crashes in there.
World-class facility continuing to keep pace with world-class improvements. Talk about concrete walls now, not the Armco barriers.
This has all changed through here too. A lot more, well, not a lot more runoff, but they got as much runoff as you could humanly have with the property boundaries.
And the paved runoffs. I mean, for spectator events, it's awesome because you get Grand Am, your NASCAR Nationwide Series. You have American Le Mans Series showcased here, vintage racing, certainly high class, high caliber. The Brian Redman event each year. The Hawk, as it's now called, is in July. That's one of the major vintage events of the year, so they obviously don't want to tear their equipment up. So this track has done a great deal. George Brugenthes and the staff have to be commended for the efforts they've made.
You can tear equipment up here because you're looking at your concrete line. You're seeing it right there. That's coming out of the kink and headed down into Canada Corner. So if you have a spin, you're going to tear some equipment up. But it's a much safer situation now than when it used to be. All this drivers left, all the fencing that's up in there, that was never there. You could actually get up in those trees. It was done. Davy Jones did it in a Jaguar in a huge crash here.
Catherine Legg danced along that fence and kept her champ car on the racetrack.
And that was further up that way, and that was one of the most horrific wrecks anybody ever saw that somebody did well coming out of.
Well, 59 Jack Maloney has made a nice move from dead last up to, you see, past 6 or 7 cars on the opening circuit. Again, we're under caution because the first turn involved many different race cars, but also the full course was for the car stalled and with a broken rear suspension. That'd be the Rick Shields machine atop turn 6 on the opening circuit. So the full course caution remains here. There's a time limit of 40 minutes or the completion of 13 laps in the duration here in this Formula V event.
We could replay that wreck in turn 1 probably 10 times and still never figure out what happened.
We saw 2 cars lock wheels.
Oh, there's a crash right here.
Oh, my.
And that corner worker almost got, man, that was on the...
That was Charles Hearn, the Super Sweep eligible driver. For some reason, as they came up the hill to get the green flag.
Car contact with another car, climbed up and over him. The flip we always talk about with open wheels.
Look at his nose. He hit the wall with that.
Oh, he hit a ton. He hit right where that corner worker was, and the corner worker had his back to the track, something you should never, ever do. They were coming up to get the green. And
yes. Charles Hearn.
Well, this won't go green the whole lap, I can't imagine.
Wow. Hearn going for a super sweep. Was mired back, we saw about 8th or 9th in the rundown there.
Well, they should get the yellow out now, in my opinion, to slow all these guys down before we have more problem. I don't think that was right at pit in. He was.
Wow, what an odd place for that to happen. But these cars again warming up, jetting back and forth, trying to get their cars in position.
Now we got full course yellow. See, you can't. That's right at pit in. It's actually past pit in. There's a break in the wall there, but. They're going to have to attend to that and get these guys slowed down.
Verison's Blenarek now second.
Now, see, these guys are still racing. They're still racing with a full course caution. I don't know if these guys haven't got the message. Well, now I'm not seeing this caution.
They're not seeing it on the bridge.
So they rescinded that. They just had it up for the moment. Wow, that's just.
Now there's double yellows in the corner.
I would have these guys slowed way down until we get that thing cleaned up.
Yep, and we saw that in that brief moment of green heading up to the first 5 corners, Verison's held point, but now Gary Blenarek and the number 3 car has moved around Roger Siebenaller for the moment. Again, we're under full course caution, so no passing allowed.
I'm not sure that that car even got to the green. It didn't get to the start finish line for sure.
Right.
But I don't think the green was out when that crash happened either.
Right at the bridge,
they
heading up to the front stretch, on acceleration up the hill to get the green. Right now it's Verison's Blenarek, Jennerjohn, then Siebenaller in the top 4. Under full course caution here, no passing allowed, and hopefully that they'll get word and awareness that, boy.
Yeah, that car's there. They'll tip back over, and there's a break in the wall there, and they'll just pull it straight in there, so it won't be a long yellow flag here. They got the pace car out.
Charles Hearn, the car that tipped over, scored 132 points this season. Talk about a man possessed. 132 points, easily winning the Southwest Division. Let's take one more look at the run up the hill. Look for the yellow car and the miscue, and it's about 8th back.
You were talking, and I just looked. See, it already happened. He had already climbed up and over, and that corner worker had his back to the car. And I can see the black car that he climbed over has got rear suspension damage. Now they got the car righted. See the break in the wall there? They'll just push it back in there. Got to clean this mess up on the straightaway, but luckily nobody hurt in that situation. Driver came out okay. The corner worker, luckily, was fine too.
That Caterpillar Bridge is at the very top of the crest when you come up the hill off of 14.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it right here because they're going right at it right now. You can see the tow truck up on top of the hill in front of the pace car. They're going through the pitch, which is smart. Front straightaway's closed. So he hit right there at the Caterpillar Bridge. That's that concrete wall that he hit was the foundation for the bridge where the corner worker's got the yellow flag going.
So between the safety trucks, about where the shade of the bridge is where that car
and they made contact about where that truck is parked, and it flew.
So Verisons will bring the field down pit road cautiously here, as again that incident was right at the bridge alongside pit road on the front straightaway. We'll give you a rundown as they run. Jonathan Weishaupt, we talked about the top 4 cars. He sits 5th. Jeff Loghead 6th. Andy Pastor 7th. Charles McCormick and Stephen Davis, your top 9. Ron Whitson sits 10th and the number 5 after starting 15th. So a lot of jostling in the brief amount of time we've had on the green here. Incident in turn number 1 on the opening circuit. Then Rick Shields' rear suspension coming apart in turn 6 on the opening circuit brought out a full course caution. And on this restart,
a miscue.
Boy, what a heartbreak for Charles Hearn, 49 years of age, out of Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't see that one coming. But that is the deal with these cars, open wheel cars. If you get lined up just right and your front tires hit the back tires of the car that was in front of you, it's just like a conveyor belt launch. That's what happened back there.
A lot of experience among the field here. Guys that have been around for 20, 30 years racing Formula V are in this race. They know anything can happen. They know how to gap and such. But again, coming up the hill, all that anticipation, and Hearn paid that unfortunate run and tumble.
Well, and I've said this for years and years, and everybody borrows it, and I'm glad they do. Cautions breed cautions. You get everybody after a turn 1 thing, you get everybody lined up, and everybody's going to get a restart. Almost inevitably, you're going to have another caution right behind that one. Especially when you got 40 some odd cars, and they're so dependent upon drafting. These guys are all hyped up, ready to get down.
Oh, yeah.
That run in turn 1, stuff happens.
And these V cars, in terms of parts and suspension, it's from the old Beetle, but I'm sure there's companies like VTEC, and of course Bill Noble's company making a lot of chassis. They have their own Vortec chassis. I mean, in terms of that, there's 3 or 4 good companies that are very, very able and capable of building winning chassis. But then you've got guys that are building their own stuff in this class.
You're stuck by running the Volkswagen engine and transaxle. That's exactly like it is in a Volkswagen Beetle. So the axles are out of the Volkswagen, the tires are out of the Volkswagen, the wheels, the brakes, everything it's limited. The front suspension's got to come out of the Volkswagen. So from connecting the front axle to the rear axle, you've got some leniency in there. But the rest of it's all,
And Dorsey, with this class being around as long as it has, as a national class, it's raced on many different racetracks. Of your opinion, which would be the best track for these cars to really shine? Would it be Mid-Ohio? It's a little smaller, technical?
Yeah, this is a great track for them because of those long straightaways. But, you see how these cars have evolved. If you would have taken a time warp 10, 15 years back or even 20 years back and told those guys that were the fast guys then 20 years ago how fast these guys are going in the same car, they'd laugh at you.
Yeah, the speed is incredible.
They'd say, no way, you're totally wrong. But that's how much it's evolved. Take a look here. Car held up well.
Yeah, certainly the monocoque and everything else is in place. The nose
took
the brunt of the damage. Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty stout built cars, no doubt about it. They're tube frame between the transaxle and the front axle, but
I believe we did see Charles climb from the car as well, so that's good to see that he was able to walk away from that one. And again, under caution here. Just 3 laps in. We're working lap 4 under caution. We've had about 1.5 laps total under green. Not even 1.5, because I think we came back to the full course caution at the completion of lap number 1. That's Chris Jenner-John, number 48, moved into 3rd here. Roger Siebenauer was in that first 3-group cluster. Now he's sitting there in 4th. And why would Dorsey, would a 3-car draft be better than, say, a 2 or a 6 or a 7?
For whatever reason, the air pours over 3 cars pretty well. And, a 2-car draft can be outdone by a 3-car draft behind it. 3-car draft seems to be like an optimal deal. Sometimes you'll get 4 or 5 cars, but with 3 guys that work together, the variables of making mistakes are lessened. If you had 5 or 6 cars or somebody's going to make a mistake, it's so important just to run not just close in proximity nose to tail, but also to keep your wheels in line with the wheels of the car in front of you so that you're not popping out, and creating more turbulence. It's hard to do. It's not that easy. When I went to NASCAR, my first races in NASCAR on super speedways, like at Talladega, it was so hard for me to stay in line like that. Pace car lights are out. We're going to get a green.
And we're 15 minutes into this race already, reaching the 16-minute mark. And when we get back to the green flag, we'll be working lap 5. We'll complete lap 4. So we're already 15 minutes into a 40-lap race. So 15 minutes into a 40-minute session. We may or may not get to the 13-lap run, so this is all important here on the restart up the hill, Dorsey.
Look at these gaps. Not everybody's up behind the gearbox like they should be, and the reason they're not is they're going to try to get a run going, and that really, the starter, in some series you can't do that. In Grand Am, you're not allowed to do that at all.
Verrisons brings him to the green, and he'll gap a little bit as he has all week here in Formula V, taking the lead early here, stretching it out just ever so slightly.
I'd rather have it that way, have the lead car take off and get a gap than have the whole mess that we saw at the last start.
But here comes that black 3 of Gary Blenard trying to form an outside run with Jenner John behind him. The multicolored 48, Roger Siebenhaler sits there in 3rd. 4th is Siebenhaler, 5th is Weisheidt. And that blue 61. Down into 3. Cleanly through the first 20 cars or so. Now single file, that's the yellow 5. The Subway sponsor car, Ron Whitson, up from the 15th starting spot.
Hear how early everybody got onto full throttle there. They did the braking in a straight line. When they turned in, they were already committed to full throttle to extend the length of this straightaway. And watch this draft effect now. I would think the top 3 will be clean. Well, I don't know. They're going to...
Blenarek is showing he has the patience, but not so much going into turn number 5 here. Blenarek's in that black 3, the white circled 3.
He got dumped by his partner, too. As soon as it looked like it wasn't going to work,
Jenner John
went to the inside. Jenner John went to the inside, and there was enough gap to get back in. That's the thing you got to watch out for. If you make some sort of a move, a pop out, and you can't get back in line, all your buddies can really mess you up.
And that initial start really separating the top 3. Now we see a lot of continuity here with a number of cars. Jeff Loghead about to join that lead train in 6th, and that red car, yellow numeral number 8. Loghead out of Darien, Illinois, the Great Lakes Division champion now, in 6th after starting in that 6th position. Trying to stay with his top 3 through the carousel. Verrisons, Blenarek, and the 48 of Jenner John.
Those guys have a plan. You can see they're sticking to each other. They already made their alliance, and there's right behind them another 3-car pack now trying to form up.
Including Siebenhaler, Loghead, and Andy Pastor.
So we got 2 groups of 3 cars pulling the rest of this field right now.
Pretty good speeds as well. The average qualifying speed for our pole sitter Verrisons, 2 minute 41 second.
The second group caught the first group.
241.112 was pole. Siebenhaler 241.224. So a 10th separating those 2 top front row starters. Siebenhaler is in that lead of the second pack in 4th.
Yeah, all these cars run so close together in times. You can have 3 or 4 cars in a 10.
Siebenhaler's that last car.
So look at the 4th car. Missed his corner.
That's Siebenhaler.
Siebenhaler went wide on that corner right, lost a little ground. He's still in a good spot because he's in the draft. Those 3 opening up a big wall of air. Watch him come now.
And the qualifying times are reflective of how they do in practice, the fastest laps they run. And there goes the run.
Yep.
Jenner John pushing the 3 of Blenarek past 65. Verrisons, the pole sitter. The red car is Verrisons on the inside.
It's going to help Siebenhaler a lot, too. That'll pull him right up into the fray. He's right there now. It's easy to make those mistakes with these little bitty skinny tires. You get into the corner a little bit too fast, don't slow the car down enough, and it won't turn down to the apex and you'll run a little bit wide. I drove one of these one time, and it was much more difficult than you'd think.
What made it hard to drive? Was it the narrow tires?
Yeah, it was the overdriving the tires. They just don't have that much grip, and you want to go faster, and you overdrive the tires, and you get down there and it won't turn. And, you mess your line up and don't have a good lap. It was very, very, I ran Spec Racer as well, but Spec Racer I think was easier.
Now Chris Jenner John in his 8th chance at the Runoffs goal looks to the outside of the 3, will maintain second right behind him. Gary Blenarek finished 8th here last year, his best run in 6 tries, so he is yet to see the point, but now today that changes with Blenarek leading the field up the hill to turn 6.
Thank God it's slowed up, it's got into a rhythm now. Everybody's finally got their game face on. Those restarts and restarts, it's really hard to get settled in.
Now we see a bit of gapping here. The lead pack is 4.
That only leaves 20.
More than 20 behind, yes, exactly. Hey, there's a good look at the yellow and
There's a
black
spin.
98, David Satterley.
58 car off the racetrack there, a simple spin off of turn 6.
Ryan Swanson gets it rewrited from Petaluma, California.
Got going again, no damage done, stayed out of the gravel trap.
Norpac Division racer, started 31st on the day.
They spin easy too with those little bitty tires.
I was going to say, it's got to be a throttle. The throttle control is definitely a premium here.
It can't do any sliding, you know. That's the thing. If you get crossed up, there's no power to save you, and there's no tire to save you. So it's not much degree of slip angle before you go around.
We're working lap number 6, but more importantly, race time. We're already at the 21-minute mark, approaching 22, so we're over halfway. Laps matching about halfway through.
They all
about
took
halfway
a
through on our
peek.
time limit.
They all 4 took a look to see if there was any opportunity, and then they all realized there was no opportunity, and then disciplined, they just went right back in line so they can get going again.
2 groups of 4 had the field, and 3 behind. 11 cars trying to break away now from the field. Siebenauer with a big wide run down the hill to 14, the final corner here at Road America. In the 4th position, will he make a move here? He and Veresens did a lot of racing with each other last year. They practiced together as well throughout the week. They are sitting 3rd and 4th.
Yep, they're
they
where they
pair up
want
and
to
run.
be. They're exactly where they want to be too. Siebeneller that time nailed that corner.
Veresens goes, and Siebenauer goes with him on the inside.
Look at the bump draft, pushing up the inside.
Jenner John leading Blenaric here.
Now you got 2 groups of guys right there helping one another. That's going to be a really good race up front. I think Veresens' car is really the quickest car straight line. These other guys they need to work with each other to stay at his pace.
So Veresens and Siebenauer now the top 2.
Yeah, that's a very, very potent combination.
Indeed.
What that is.
Chris Jennerjohn in his 8th runoffs. His best finish was 4th here 2 years ago. Certainly wants a medal. Had a great run there. Led a bit of the race here until Veresens drafted him up the front stretch. Working lap number 7 now. Past the 23-minute mark.
I like Jenner John's got the Dan Gurney look on his car, the number and everything.
Oh, yeah.
If Gurney wasn't a hero of his, I'm sure he wasn't a hero of everybody's.
What didn't Gurney win in? Man.
Yeah, just a great man.
Jeff Loghead is trying to catch these guys. He's sitting back there in 5th in that red car. Up the hill to 6, now to 7. I did a skip barber school here once, and right here, I burped the gas, got back on it, and I spun out in 7.
Yeah, there's a lot of
How many
spins in
people
7.
spin in 7? I was like, I think I'm the only one.
It falls off camber a lot more than you can see on the camera. It's a hard corner to get right. You go through there with understeer, and if you're undisciplined and you add a little bit of steering to it, then at the exit it's going to snap loose.
Duck Waddle actually took me aside after. He said, "What were you thinking?"
Been talking to Duck all weekend. Hadn't seen Duck in a while. Him and Susie. He's a character.
Yes, he is. He taught me well. I just didn't listen. Here's our race leaders. Michael Veresens running out front now, and he's getting a little bit more speed out of that pole-sitting car, the red 65. Good look at the AutoWorks 72 of Roger Siebenauer. Top 4 cars, all with the Hoosier tires. Loghead leading that next group of 4.
Michael Veresens is really strong, though. I'm telling you, he's able to pull this train behind him. That car by itself on its own right is probably the fastest car by itself in the track.
Top 4 single file. We see the second group now trying to do a little bit of maneuvering here through the kettle bottoms, the lowest elevation portion of this road course. That's Loghead, just ahead of the white 69, and Charles McCormick is in the mix there, the purple car.
Good save by Jeff Loghead right there. Got off in the gravel with them skinny tires. Like I said, you'll get turned pretty quick. Oh.
69 is McCormick. Then comes that purple car, Andy Pastor in 75. 61 right in the mix as well as Jonathan Weisheidt. He was 5th last time by. Now he's dropped back 3 spots.
It's a good draft going up there. Loghead getting drafted on. Push draft, might be bump drafting. A lot of those guys will do that. Looks, yep, I think you're probably pushing him right along there.
Loghead and McCormick teaming up here. Here's our leaders fanning out of the front stretch into turn number 1. Veresens getting pressure by Siebenauer. No longer his dancing partner from behind. Siebenauer takes the point, and with a wide run here, could open the door for 3rd.
Siebenauer got the big run into turn 1 that time. Took that away. But Veresens has got the speed.
Veresens seems so pure on his line. The other guys seem like, okay, if we got to pass Veresens, we got to find out where we can do that. Siebenauer found it on the front stretch.
Yeah, they're going to have to work together to get by Michael, I think. He's really got a good race car. This second group's going to get entertaining, too, back behind that.
Harrison's emerging as one of the front runners each and every time the runoffs
Guess
appear,
what?
just a single time a year. And there
Like
he
I
goes.
said. He's got a lot of speed in that car. Makes no
Top
doubt about
end,
it.
no doubt.
I think it's going to take a combination of those other guys to work together to get Michael. I think by himself they can't touch him.
Harrison's through 6. Now it's Siebenaler, Jenner, John. Blenarek back to 4th.
And if they keep passing each other, that second group, which they really wouldn't want to have catch up, might, because there's about 6-7 cars in that field.
Great look here again. 37 cars took the green flag here in the Formula V event. Working lap number 8, but we did have a couple of cautions to slow the effort. Had a couple of full course cautions. We're at minute 26 of 40, so 14 minutes remain. And we're again working lap number 8, so we may indeed see a time certain race rather than 13 completed laps.
Boy, Michael Verisson's again sneaking away from this 3-car pack. That's hard to do. They'll catch him down here in Canada because this is where working like this together on top speed will help these 3 cars. So when they get down there, watch how much gain they get on him. But they should know right now that he can pull away from them, so they better start formulating a plan. They got to get him shuffled back. See how much they got back? Look, now they're right back with him again. That's the draft helping them out. He doesn't have that advantage.
Blenarek tail at the tail there of that 3-car pack, and the black 3 looking to perhaps see a different line. Should he stay tucked in as if he's got nowhere to go besides follow that tail light?
If I was in that group right there, I'd be behind Verisson no matter what it took. You know?
In terms of the 3rd car in line, the black car, should he stay right behind Jenner John and try to gain that gap?
Yeah, it's harder the further back you go, you know, for sure. But you need to stay in line, not only in line with front tire to rear tire, so that nobody's pushing any more air than they need to.
Working lap number 8, it's Verisson's now ahead of Siebenaler, who passed him on the front stretch 1 lap ago. It appears to be settling down just slightly here in Formula V. Certainly a great conclusion ahead of us. We're going to take a break here on the SpeedcastTV.com coverage presented in HD by Volkswagen. Stay with us. Formula V is going to cook and certainly get hotter as we get closer to the finish. The 4 cars at front, and look at this pack per second. A lot more racing yet to come. Stay with us.
This portion of the SCCA Runoffs is being brought to you by Volkswagen, Das Auto, by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and by Blackmagic Car Care Products.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now it's even more fuel efficient with available SkyActiv technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now get the Mazda 3 with 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Need help?
Yeah. Well, my ride's been losing power and gas mileage, and I've been thinking about grabbing...
That's thinking with your motorhead. Gummout products are backed by science, real science, so they help improve performance, increase fuel efficiency, and protect key engine parts. It's not clean until it's Gummout clean. Bring it in. Think with your motorhead. Choose Gummout, available at these fine retailers.
Working lap number 9. Here they come to complete the 9th circuit. This is for the lead. Welcome back to our SpeedcastTV.com coverage of Formula V, and it's Siebenaler and Jenner John. Jenner John now looking 3 wide.
Jenner John takes the opportunity to try to take the lead for the first time with about 4 laps to go.
Whoa, wow.
I think he's going to get the momentum they needed. They're going to be slow through turn 1, though, because of this.
Verisson, Siebenaler at the point. Jenner John and Blenarek now closing in. This is the 4-car battle we left before our commercial break. Nothing has changed except Siebenaler perhaps is now feeling the need to put the pressure on in that white car with the red tip nose.
Well, hopefully they just learned a lesson right there, because when they broke apart and Jenner John decided to make 3 wide, what did it do? It let Michael Verisson's go right up back into the lead again. They're going to have to time a last-minute draft, and it's going to take 2 cars, if not 3 cars, to get by him.
Here comes Siebenaler looking to get that draft past Verisson.
And everybody went with him that time. They're going to have to shuffle him back, or they're in big trouble.
Verisson's feeling lonely on the inside of 5, but that's the preferred spot to be. Can Siebenaler make it stick on the outside? He will. Carefully through that corner now.
Dropped him 2 places back.
Solid racing there. Verisson's giving room. Jenner John holding true to his line and taking over 2nd position in that 48.
All 3 of those guys should be working against Michael Verisson's right now, trying to shuffle him back, but it's too early in the race with 3 laps or 4 laps to go to do it. But at least they're finding out what they can get away with and what they can't.
You look at that dark green number 80 of Stephen Davis, now up into the 7th position. Davis has worked his way masterfully from 14th, was in 10th just a lap and a half ago. Now he's breaking into the top 7. Jeff Loghead just ahead. McCormick sits 5th now.
Further back.
Good looking guy, Billingham's pink and blue, number 12, out of Brantford, Ontario. Finished 22nd here last year. This is the battle for 17th.
I don't care where you are on this racetrack, you'll be battling with somebody.
Ron Waken, the number 41, that yellow car to Lafayette, California. Finished 29th here last year. He's got a good run going. He's sitting 18th right now behind Bellingham.
Here's our top 4 working down into Canada. Bearson's to the inside.
Yep.
We'll pick up 1 position.
Wow, just that easy, isn't it?
It's easy for that him right now. Yeah.
For us watching it is.
That car is the car to beat right now. Oh, gonna try the outside run. That won't work. Yeah, he's got the most underneath his belt right now. All these other guys are going to have to try to find a way to hold him back and break his momentum.
So now the Siebenthaler is sitting duck, if you will.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
No doubt. Watch him. By the time they get to turn 1, Bearson's will be up and by. Yep, just drive right around him.
No help needed apparently for Verison.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That was with no help from behind whatsoever.
They're paired up with Blenara getting around Jennerjan here.
Made it look easy. That's pretty frightening if you're not in his car. Those 3 guys can still beat him, but they're going to have to work together to do it. You know, and the thing to do would be to somewhere halfway through that last lap is shuffle him out and not going down into 5 here.
Working lap 11 of 13. Time may come into play here in a 40-minute time limit.
It'll be close. I think they'll make it. If we don't get a caution, I think we'll get the checkered flag.
Yep.
I hope we do, because that'd screw up what's going to happen on this last lap deal.
Right. If you plan too early, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right. You might get the checkered at the podium without notice, or at the starter stand. Hopefully that's not the case. And Jennerjan trying to shake things up again.
Not going to happen. Now he's going to lose 2 or 3 positions too.
Tucks back in behind Siebenthaler. Smartly does it through this corner here.
That's the problem with all that. You have to get that pass done before the turn-in point, or get back in line if they let you. No one of those cars on its own merit can beat Bearson's. All 3 of them can.
This is your top 4. We talked quite a bit about how they're changing position. Your next set of 4 running together and really at task here. Jeff Loghead, Jonathan Weisheidt, Carlos McCormick, and Andy Pastor, the next 4 in line. Then comes Stephen Davis, dropped back to 9th on that last lap. And Ron Woodson in that yellow and green number 5 is back into the 10th position. Got to look at Jack Maloney's number 59 and Chris Elwell in the 52. They're running 26th and 27th in this large Formula V field in the closing laps here.
Now see what'll happen with those 3 running like that. They'll catch Bearson's down here in Canada corner, but I don't think they'll catch him with enough momentum to pass.
All right, Dorsey, put your best crew chief position mind on. Driver coach here. Put the headset on and talk to Siebenthaler through this. Where should he find his way? You want to talk to Siebenthaler and Jennerjan together and say, boys, we got to keep tight.
We're going into the closing stage of this race. They already know they got to work as a 3-car team.
Under 5 minutes.
In the straightaway to get by.
Under 5 minutes is the indication. Working lap number 11.
Siebenthaler's got a good run right there. Now, if he can drag Jennerjan with him, and if they can stay right behind Bearson's, pop out right before they get to turn 1 and stay tight enough that he can't get in. And that's what they're trying to do right now, but it's a little early in the lap count.
Working lap
Meantime,
12.
You know, Gary Blenarek almost got shuffled right there.
Top 4 have a 10-second bulge on Charles McCormick in 5th.
Didn't have enough that time.
Under the Briggs & Stratton sign.
Siebenthaler had a really good exit at corner 1 right there. He was fastest car, and he shook Jennerjan off his back.
Through turn 3. Is it tire wear, you think, now? Things are at full temp?
Now they shouldn't be too bad. I mean, right now they're just... That one with Siebenthaler, he just exited turn 1, used more road, got less scrub, and he is getting help by for Bearson's too, a little bit of a tow.
We do need to have a tailwind, if you will, up the front straightaway. The wind is
fighting for 3rd in the back, and that's going to drop them out of the pack if they don't watch it.
Yep, Blenarek got 3rd spot away, but at what price? Look at the distance now between 2nd and 3rd.
we're running quick out of time and out of laps. Either way, if you got a plan, you better use it. I know what Michael Versen's plan is already.
Under 3 minutes remaining, or 13 laps, whichever comes first. Here, downshifting here.
See what that pass did? It dropped those third and fourth place cars out of the tow.
That's turn 8 into the carousel, turns 9 and 10.
It's bad for Siebenaler too, because he's got nobody behind him to help push him along.
And Versen's does open up that 3 or 4 car lengths, which is huge right now.
It's going to be close when they come by here. They should get one to go. I think they'll get by with enough time not to hit the time limit for this race and get that last lap in. Right now it's a 2-car shuffle. If these two guys, they look at him doing the hand wave. I think he just told him to go back around.
Yep. Blenarek is saying, hey, let's go, Jeff Jennerjohn. And
Chris
Jennerjohn, excuse me.
He goes, we're faster with me behind you. We're faster with you in front. Let's go.
This chess match really does play out every lap of practice, every lap of the race.
Now that was neat because he hand signaled. He says, get by me, because he feels that they're faster as a tandem with the other way around, with Jennerjohn in front. Oh boy, this is going to be good run.
Versen's a bit of a hangout there. I saw him also through the carousel getting a little bit out of skew.
I don't think Siebenaler's got enough without those guys behind him helping him to get around Versen's on his own accord. We'll see.
This will be the final lap to decide. Gold, silver, and bronze. Bronze in contention as well as the race victory here.
Those guys just out far enough back that they're not going to be in the play for the win unless these two get together.
It'll be decided amongst these 4 cars.
Yeah, see, and Roger just gets up to the back. He's got a good exit right there. He's got a really good exit. Versen's got a little loose. Maybe he'll try him in the 5. I don't think he's got enough by himself to get up there, though.
Siebenaler will try to get as close as he can, perhaps just the front straightaway draft. Maybe what he gets. He gets the toe off him and try to spit out at the last second.
Well, he could have done it for sure if he had the help of the 2 guys behind him. But by himself, now watch, this time Versen is going to be defensive. He's going to run down the inside because he knows it's the last lap.
Yep.
He knows Siebenaler is going to try something. He's got to try something. It's one of the only opportunities he has is right here. It's close.
Siebenaler right there, yes. A little bit of a brake dust there, a little brake smoke as he locked him up a bit. Going into 5, up to 6 here for the final time in Formula V. Versen's leading Roger Siebenaler.
Might take a shot at him at 8. No, here's a big scrum going on back further in the pack.
Versen, the gold medal in 2009, has won 4 of the last 5 poles. Roger Siebenaler, the defending race champion, is Mysterium Chassis.
6
in this final circuit. That's all for 4th on back, 4th through 9th, right here.
That's Jeff Loghead and Weishite and Charles McCormick.
Yep, McCormick was up to 5th. Now he's back to 7th. Ron Whitson's in that group. Stephen Davis is still to be heard from in 9th.
Without a mistake, Versen's got this in 1.
And those guys have been battling. 2 wide, 3 wide every time up the front straightaway, but all focused now on the final few turns on Versen's.
Siebenaler got a good run off that kink right there. Or off through the carousel. Now he's got a good run from the kink. It's going to go down the Canada corner. He makes his move now early.
Whoa.
He might get this done.
Side by side here through this area. The advantage to the inside is Versen, but the next corner is a right-hander.
Oh, this is going to be good. Roger's got the position.
Wow, what a bold move here. Knowing Versen's has the straightaway speed, what a great move by Siebenaler here to get it done in the back half.
Caught him off guard. That was a very good move, but now Versen's is really strong up here. Here we go. It's going to be the drag race to us.
We'll decide the medals right here. 1 turn and half a straightaway to go to the finish line. Siebenaler leading Versen's off the final corner.
Well, I take everything I said back, Roger. Good job so far. Now it's going to be tight.
Oh boy. He'll give the outside to Versen. Siebenaler Versen's in a drag race to the finish line. Top end proves true for our pole winner and now gold medalist for the 2nd time. Michael Versen's will win it.
Roger Siebenaler did a great job. That is as much as he could hope for. I knew that he didn't have enough car.
And Gary Blenarek will get bronze. He beat Jennerjohn off the final corner. This is the battle for 4th on back. What a great run. Getting 4th, Charles McCormick. Ron Whitson up from 15th to 6th. Jeff Loghead 7th, Stephen Davis 8th. Jonathan Weishite back there in 9th.
Really good move by Roger Siebenaler to get inside and get that position wrestled away down there in Canada. But I knew Versen's had the car, man. In a straightaway drag race, There's nobody as quick as that car right now.
Siebenauer did everything humanly possible. Jenner John and Blenarek had a great run as well, battling for that final medal position when it came down to it. That move by Veresens to get the lead off the final corner and draft up the straightaway is our GoPro hero move of the race. Michael Veresens capturing the race in the final few moments. Siebenauer had the lead with a very brilliant move on the back half of the course, and Veresens just too strong today.
Well,
and that run up the front stretch of the checkers will do it.
Roger drove one heck of a lap to get himself in a position to get that position away, I'll tell you that. I didn't think he could ever do it by himself, but he did wrestle that position away down there, coming out of the kink. If he had had some help from behind, that would have been the only way I think he could have made that stick.
Jenner John and Blenarek were going back and forth, third and fourth, and we saw them 2 laps prior to the finish separate because they were battling for that third position. Jenner John had it till the final corner, and coming up the hill, Gary Blenarek went past him for his first medal at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. That's the purple 75 of Andy Pastor. He finishes 10th. So good job by Andy. He was up in the mix as well after starting in the 7th position. Great run for him. Last year he finished 32nd with a DNF, and I would think that's a huge momentum builder for next year to run top 10 at the runoffs in the Formula V category.
Yeah, top 10 in Formula V is pretty darn good when the fields are as thick as they are.
Indeed.
These cars are as competitive with one another as they are.
So the first 4 cars at that was the contesting run right there. Those 4 cars able to break away from a really strong pack of cars.
And that caused by the spin, earlier on.
Yeah.
That shaped the race anyway at that point. Somebody off on the straightaway there. Parked. I don't know who it is. Looks like they're okay. I think
yep.
Mechanical problem.
Cool down lap here, and they're going to head to John Bizignano here shortly on pit road as they do the cool down lap here to head back up to the grid. And indeed, the Formula V race, another exciting run to the finish. We talked about Brad Stouth, Steve Olseth, their strength in this class. Roger Siebenauer with 3 gold medals will get silver today. Rick Shields' race ended on lap number 1. He was the 2010 gold medalist, but really when it came down to it, the fastest car produced the gold medal result for our pole sitter, Michael Veresens. Veresens had a very strong run this season.
Wasn't that, when I talk about how much stronger the car is and so forth, it really isn't that much. It's just enough. It's only 1/10 in qualifying that Siebenauer was behind Veresens.
And in Veresens' first gold medal in 2009, he had a 23-second margin of victory.
But that car is strong, make no doubt about it.
Oh, man. Talk about strength and power. Siebenauer closing that gap, getting the lead in the final lap, but just not enough. Veresens, the Central Division champion, which is right here where Road America is based, out of Burlington, Wisconsin. Veresens will take home the gold in the Speed Sport AM5. Speed Sport, VTech, Hoosier, the sponsors that go along with the gold medal winner, who's down with John Bizignano on pit road. Biz, take it away.
Well, Michael's getting out of his gear here. Certainly, I'm sure there's a huge smile underneath that helmet. My gosh, Michael. Get your Hans device off there. Certainly one of the best Formula V drives I've ever seen. The attention to detail in this car has proven to be a winning factor. Where's your crew when you need it, Michael? Really? There we go. Just coming back and over. Radio. You need a checklist at this point, Michael, congratulations not only on this win, but of course, I think it's the only 3rd Triple Crown of the weekend. What does it take to put together a full season like this as you get your proudly displayed Hoosier necklace? What does it take to not only win here, but a Triple Crown, for heaven's sake?
Oh, man, the last few weeks we were just working nonstop trying to get ready for this thing. We just kept finding one thing wrong after the next. And, well, after we won this thing a couple years ago, I kind of thought the next couple would be, be a little easier. But, the last few years proved that's not that easy to win these things. So I think this one feels a lot better than the first one now that I know it's hard to repeat. So this is great.
All the attention to detail.
Yeah, we try not to overlook anything. I mean, just the hours and hours and hours we put into this thing, and not just myself but my dad. I mean, he works just as hard at this thing as I do, so this one is as much for him as it is for me.
But the 3 and 4 of you were racing as cleanly as possible.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Nobody touched. Everything was pretty clean. I was just kind of glad at the last couple laps there that Roger and I were kind of able to get away. I figured we got away. The worst that would happen is we finished second. So it was kind of nice to see the two of us break away the last lap.
Well, first is better than second. Let's get that gold medal on you. Congratulations, Michael, on a great drive. Well, Roger, congratulations on that silver medal. First of all, but I got to ask you, a little late to the grid. Were you working on it right to the last minute?
Oh, no, we were just kind of taking our time, I guess. Yeah, it's difficult.
This is the runoffs,
We were way down in a gully back there, and you can't really tell when you're supposed to be up there.
Yeah.
Race green flag time's 11:30, so we figured we left ourselves enough time, but pushed it a little close.
Certainly got on the move once the green flag felt right up against his exhaust most of the race. If this would have been another 50 yards longer, would you have won it?
Well, we've been through this before, and each year it's pretty much a photo finish. So I just passed the wrong time. I should have given it another shot up the front straight. That's what I did last year. That's what I tried to do the year before, and it worked.
When you say passed at the wrong time, where exactly are you talking about again?
Passed at the end of Canada Corner, which gave him the opportunity to repass me coming back up the hill here.
So where would you have held it till 14 then? Where?
I would have waited till after 14 and tried to draft up the hill. That's what's worked the last few years. Worked for him this year. So
congratulations on a great silver medal.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Gary. Gary's trying to wander off here. Gary, come on, buddy. Here's the camera. Here's all your fans. What a great run you had. But then the last couple of laps, you kind of dropped back a little bit. What happened to you?
Coming into 14, Chris got a little sideways, and I couldn't get around him, so I had to back off and stay behind him. And we tried to make a move going down the middle straight to catch back up, but wasn't enough, and we were working together to try and get it back, but we couldn't get it back. And
actually, the four of you were working together for 90% of the race. Right. Some of the cleanest driving I've ever seen, actually. There's a lot of competition out there. But you guys, do you really know what the other guy's going to do before he does it?
I have a pretty good feeling. I know what I would do, and that's what I kind of go on, with thinking that's what they would do too.
What would you change about this race, though? Coming first, I know, but
yeah, I maybe should have made a move sooner to get around Chris instead of trying to get back with the group. I wasn't sure I could do it alone, though, so that was kind of my strategy. I'm going to need somebody to bridge that gap. The two of them are going to be impossible to catch.
Gary, congratulations on a great bronze medal.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Formula V, one of everyone's favorite classes in the books. Back to you.
And Biz, Roger Siebenauer is certainly speaking from experience. 2010, Rick Shields beat him by 0.017 seconds. Last year, he made a last-moment move and beat out Neumeister by 0.1 seconds, so just the 10th. And Veresens is right there in bronze category last year. So as they talk about what they've learned, racers never forget. This year's margin of victory, it's Michael Veresens over Roger Siebenauer by 0.101 seconds, so just the 10th, separating one of the closest finishes. And we were looking forward to this race, and indeed it played out just the way we thought. It came down to the final few corners to determine our Formula V finish. Let's take a look at the results here, Dorsey. Veresens, Siebenauer, Blanark, your medal winners. Jennerjan settles for fourth.
Guys are obviously used to running really close with one another. Like you said, he made his pop-out pass a little bit too early. You look at their race cars and the attention to detail they put into those aerodynamically. Good job by all of them. It's a great class to watch, no doubt about it. It's very entertaining.
Dennis Andrade finishes 11th. Jim Javier finishes 12th. Gary Cattell, Gavin Sweeney, Guy Billingham, your top 15. Great run. And again, the guys 4th to 10th really had a solid race themselves, and it was a lot of fun to watch them as they progressed and continued swapping spots. A great job by all those drivers as well. We hope that everybody's okay from the incidents. It appears that everyone did escape their cars. Rick Shields in the very beginning climbed out of his car. Charles Hearn with a flip on the front stretch coming to a restart. He walked out of his vehicle, and really, what a great run it was. And Veresens, again, proving the strongest here in Formula V. It came down to the fastest car, and it came down to gapping the rest of the teams, and that was, again, a very precautious start here. That's Rick Shields going around, the 2010 gold medalist. Then the action settled in after this wild flip by Charles Hearn, the super sweep eligible driver. He is okay, and it came down to these two competitors, these two former gold medal winners, to decide it, and that was the margin of difference in Formula V. On behalf of John Bizignano, Dorsey Schrader, I'm Jim Trado. Thanks for joining us.
This portion of the SCCA Runoffs is being brought to you by Volkswagen, Das Auto, by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and by Black Magic Car Care Products.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick. with uncompromised performance. And now, it's even more fuel efficient with available SCCA technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now, get the Mazda 3 with 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Need help?
Yeah. Well, my ride's been losing power and gas mileage, and I've been thinking about grabbing...
That's thinking with your motorhead. Gum-out products are backed by science, real science, so they help improve performance, increase fuel efficiency, and protect key engine parts. It's not clean until it's gum-out clean. Bring it in. Think with your motorhead. Choose Gum-out, available at these fine retailers.